Come on. Yeah, there we go. Hey, guys. Welcome to another edition of the Long Range Corner with your host, Matt Bardeen. And tonight we have a very special guest with us, Joshua Kidder. He is admin. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Oh, that's weird.
Sorry. You would think after like doing a podcast for that long, that I would be kind of used to this, but yeah, I guess I'm in unfamiliar territory right now, man.
Well, so am I. I'm not used to this software. We're using Google Hangouts for the first time. So
Yeah,
uh,
I had the live stream pulled up in the background, so that's probably why you were hearing yourself. I was like, oh,
I
man.
had the live stream pulled up in my background as well. So I was hearing
There
myself.
you go. Cool, man. So what's up with you, man?
Not much. Just sitting here having a beer. Nice Guinness. Since it's
I've
St. Patty's Day and everything.
I've got something almost equally as dark, but
Uh,
it is cold brew coffee.
Very nice.
It's one of those
Coffee,
kinds of days.
coffee, Guinness, same thing.
Well, I was actually born, so I was adopted when I was younger, and I was born a McGlynn. So you would figure that with my Irish heritage, I would be celebrating a little bit harder. But uh,
You get old.
it is what it is. It is
Yeah,
what, yeah. I get old and have kids and stuff.
yeah, yeah. Well, as you can see here, I've got a little baby Guinness. That's a
Well, hey man, I gotta hand it to you. You handled it last week with the big boy. The big boy. What was that? A Cinco or something?
Yeah, that was I think that was a liter. No, 750 milliliters. So just about double what I usually drink.
All right, all right. Well, I like it. I
Yeah,
like it.
it was good. I've had that before, but usually I don't drink that much. That's most I've drunk in one session for a long time.
Nice, man. Nice.
I'm
Well done.
old.
Hey, getting old happens.
It does. It does. Quicker
So,
than I'd like. Quicker than I'd like, actually.
so what's the theme? What's the topic? So Matt and I are both we're connected through the Long Range Hooligans group, and Matt messaged me earlier this week, and he was like, "Hey, man, you want to come on the show this week?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then like about 20 minutes ago, I saw I'm going to be going live with Josh Kidder here in like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, I should probably, I should probably be prepared for this, but I'm totally not.
That
Uh, so do you have like an agenda on the show? I mean, I've watched your show before, and you sort of cover some topics, man.
not really. I just wanted to talk about I've had a string of good luck recently where I've won two things recently. I won a brain FPV Radix
Okay.
on another live stream on random FPV's live stream, the Dead
Oh,
Band.
nice.
So that's actually going on at the same time. So we're kind of competing for viewers.
Well, I got nothing but love for Chris, so
Yeah, yeah, he's good. I mean, I really like his live stream, and he does a good job on it. But
he does indeed. It's very
so
cool.
so yeah, I won that last week, and just after doing my live stream, which was cool, and then yesterday, I think I was on the AirViews live stream with all their FPV pilots, and I won a tiny whoop.
Oh,
So
nice. But leave it to Matt. I mean, look behind you. I mean, you think you'll fly that thing?
um, I have a tiny whoop actually, and yeah, I probably will. I'll probably stick like a nano crossfire on it or something, and
Nice.
do some long range whooping. Kind of like the Rotor Riot guys were doing.
Yeah, right. I saw Bob Rugi actually posted a video of this dude doing some tiny whooping this week, and this guy is insane, man, with that tiny whoop. It was the type of video where you watch it and it makes you go like, hey, maybe I need to go get a tiny whoop. Like that looks pretty damn cool. But
Yeah,
yeah, this guy
I've
was good with that thing.
I've seen some good guys on tiny whoops. Way probably about 2 months ago, I saw an excellent video of the tiny whoop guys doing tricks in his house, flying under chairs, things like that. Just really impressive
Did they
stuff.
have was it like a real ornate looking living room with like a chandelier that he was flying around?
It it might have been. It might have been.
Because if so, that's the same guy that Bob just posted.
Yeah, it's
That's
the same
cool,
guy.
man.
He does all left turns or something like that. I think I caught that on his video.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
That's a common theme for us FPVers. We start getting into habits. So I've got one friend here that does all right turns.
I, dude. So every time I play back, uh, for like the longest time, I was like, dude, turn right. What are you? This isn't NASCAR, dude. Turn right. What are you doing? I had to break myself of that habit because the turn left thing. I don't know. It's just whether it's one side dominant or it's just easier for me to move my thumb to the left. But
I think it's easier to turn to the left, and I know for myself, I started out doing laps around my house, and I did laps, doing left-hand turns all the way around my house.
right.
And I watch my videos when I go out and fly in the middle of nowhere, and I'm doing left turns. Like, wait, no, go the other way.
Stop that! You have a whole nother dimension. You're completely wasting.
Exactly. So breaking those habits, a lot of people don't even notice they have those habits.
Yeah.
So you point it out to them, and oh crap.
Yeah.
Peter Flex FPV. I think one of the first videos I watched with him from him, he was turning left all the time. I was like, okay, turn right, dude, turn right.
Yeah.
And now look at him.
We got a dude that we used to fly with up here, Tony from UAVRC, and I started calling him Left Turn Tony, and he got all bent out of shape about it. Started turning right. So.
Yeah, good. Like I said, there's this one guy that he just turns in one direction. You tell him turn the other direction. He's like, no, I can't do it.
Nice, man.
Yeah, a good way to get around that is start doing like figure eights, like consciously doing figure eights.
Yeah,
and that works. That helps break that habit.
I still notice that like when I'm like doing like left maneuvers and stuff, like my left stuff is way smoother than my right stuff, even though I like had to make a conscious effort to turn right for a while. But
yeah, I think Juice 70, Justin Waylander, he has a definite left turn tendency as well.
Left dominant.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
So it's not just us little guys, even the big guys do it.
It's not just
the OGs.
Nice.
So
did you do any flying this week, man?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none. No, I haven't flown probably for 3 weeks now, which is really horrible. I want to get out tomorrow. That's my goal. I wanted to get out today, but it was raining. So
rain happens.
Yeah, this first rain in probably 2 months. We had some sprinkles in January, and then before that, the last appreciable rain was in November. So
yeah,
I'm not complaining about the rain. We needed it.
It has been. We're into like the windy season here in the Mojave, and it's just absolutely miserable for flying anything, like just getting up there. I have a torrent that I've been messing around with, one of the little tiny blade torrents. I flew it out of my garage door and it almost didn't come back.
What's the wind situation like there? What kind of wind do you have?
It's just crazy all the time. I mean, it's for like the last week solid, it's been probably 20 to 30 knots sustained, and then gusting 35, 40.
Yeah, okay. So not exactly flyable, really.
No, I mean,
you could do it with a 5-inch or maybe a 6-inch, but the footage is going to be crap. So
yeah, it's going to be garbage, man. So.
Yeah. That's my problem. Is up in the mountains, you hit those ridge lines, and you get the wind gusting up over the ridge lines, and it just screws up the footage.
Uh-oh.
Are you there?
Yeah, you froze for a second. I heard you got the wind gusting up over. It's Hangouts problems, guys. We initially were like, hey, we should probably like do a pre-run on this, and then then my computer decided to have Windows updates. My computer decided to have some Windows updates. So
I hate that. I pull out I've got a little tablet that I use, a Windows tablet. I pull that out, and every time I turn it on, it's a Windows update. It's just annoys the hell out of me because it's never on.
Yeah, I can't stand the Windows update, man. It's garbagey, but it is what it is. I'm still like trying to get set up here. I see old Richard Shelton has
Yeah,
joined
yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah. Hello, Richard. I gotta have you on as well, Richard.
Richard,
Uh,
dude, Richard's quality guest material too. He's that dude is just a
yeah,
nut.
I
He's
mean
a nut.
I've been watching him since probably since I got into the hobby, which was 2013, 2014, somewhere in there.
Jesus. Yep.
So he's old school as well.
He is the antithesis of, or he is the definition, the walking definition of old school. But dude, it's funny though, because I started watching Rich uh probably when I got into the hobby around 2014. You know,
Yep.
he was always posting on Mini Quad Club and stuff. And I just remember like his like late 90s techno trance music and like just flying out in the desert. And then you know the hobby kind of went the way of like the Steels and you know the guys who are really into that acro, and now it's kind of come full circle. Rich is selling frames again. You know, he's
Yeah.
got badass motors. You know, it's just funny to see that how it's come back around like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think the freestyle was really exciting because yeah, nobody was doing it. So now with the emphasis on freestyle, the long range, mid range stuff opened up again. So it was new again.
Yeah,
So
it's funny. It's funny how like Rich always gets super frustrated when we talk because he's like, somebody will come up with something and say something along the lines of like, "Oh man, look at this new this or look at this new that." And like, I was flying that 5 years ago.
exactly. Diving mountains, yeah.
Yeah. Rich is an OG mountain surfer. I'll give him that. He's probably recording this stream right now, and he's like making this his voicemail greeting, so people can actually believe that when he all this nonsense he comes up with all the time. But yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool stuff to see the hobby sort of evolving back to kind of where it came from. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've always not like racing. I keep telling guys I don't understand racing. I just don't. You have something. I mean, I do, but I don't. You have something that can travel in 3 dimensions anywhere you want, and you choose to go around a course at low altitude, usually. You know, the same course over and over again. And it's like, why? It just.
I think that I mean because I don't think anybody has the money or time to invest in like a bunch of Inspires with hoops hanging off of them.
Well,
it's kind of the only way to do it. I mean, obviously, you know, RC has a huge pedigree in racing, and so
yeah.
the little drones are going to be no different. But I don't know. The racing's cool. I've met a lot of really cool guys who are dominantly into racing. It's never really like piqued my interest to get into the competition, and that could be the old guy in me talking. You know, I just want to go out and experience it, man. Like this is the freedom of flight and what that gives you is just amazing to me.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my view. Is you know you can go anywhere. Why not do it? I was into racing for a while, and then I just realized it just stressed me out. I was in the drone worlds in Hawaii, actually the Aloha Cup, the pre-runner, and I swear my 3 runs were probably the worst 3 flights that I've ever had. In fact,
you actually raced there?
I tried to. Let me put it that way. My first run, I go to screw my antenna on to my Tyrannus. I had an external antenna, and you know, I turn it and it just keeps turning. So it disconnected internally.
Oh no.
I was like, oh crap. So I was like, yeah, rushing to get that fixed. And you know, Alex Greaves was there with me. He's like, he was my spotter. And I was like, oh God, I'm so nervous. So yeah, that was the first flight. The second flight, I picked out probably the only battery that I had discharged. stuck it on the quad or something. I don't know what happened, but I basically went around the first corner and the quad just fell out of the air.
Oh my
Like,
God.
oh God.
Oh my God.
And third and
Talk about all the bad luck.
yeah, and the third and final flight, it was this mix of cloudy and sunny, and
Yeah.
my camera was like really badly set. So, I'd enter into the sun and I couldn't see anything.
The dynamic range was not working for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, at that point, I was like, yeah, no more racing. Fuck that.
I don't know. We have a bunch of local guys. It was funny because we're in the same town as Daniel from X Hover, and so
Yeah.
we were kind of the standard bearers. It was me and Brandon was Wookie and Daniel from X Hover, and then our buddy Chris, and we were kind of the standard bearers for this town, man. And we were out flying one day, and my video started getting stomped, which was not a thing that I was used to, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Brian?" And so, is cursing cool on your show?
I don't know.
Is it family friendly?
Yeah. Curse. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we met some guys and we started flying with them, and they're kind of into the racing scene. They do like there's like a multi GP chapter up here now. I just can't get into it. I especially now that the long range thing is so readily available, like flying on a field or flying on a mountain. Like,
yeah, any day.
Yeah, absolutely. So my heart's got in the long range thing. Actually, Rich was kind of responsible for pushing me more that way, getting out of the parks and getting onto the mountain. And yeah, I just have never really looked back since, man. I love it.
Once I started flying the mountains, you look at the videos where I've got the most views, and it's mountain flying. So I like it. My viewers like it, so that's where I'm going to go. Yeah, between that and spending a day on the race course, yeah, mountain.
Well, and let's be honest, dude. Your locale down there, being in like such close, well, not relatively close proximity.
Yeah.
To such beautiful scenery and such tall mountains, man. It's just you're blessed to be where you're at, man. It's pretty awesome flying down there.
Yeah, it's just a happy accident, really. If I had an FPV hit maybe 5 years earlier, I probably wouldn't have gotten into it as much as I did. So, FPV hit, and one of the first flights I did, I started flying in June. Well, I started flying in May or April of 2014 with a big quad, but I got my mini quad probably June of 2014. And by September of 2014, I was up in the mountains. That was one of the first trips that I took up to the mountains, and that just captured my attention. It was cool. You could get out and you could fly these mountains, these snow-covered mountains, and it was, I don't know, indescribable feeling. Well, describable because you guys know it. But,
did you have like an easy UHF system, or were you just staying a little bit closer to yourself?
I was just staying a little bit closer to myself. I was using FreeSky, and FreeSky is pretty decent. When you don't have a lot of interference, you can get out pretty far. So
yeah.
And a lot of the places I fly, you don't need a lot of range. The mountains where I fly, typically one of my favorite mountains is doable barely on FreeSky.
Okay.
On Crossfire, yeah, no problem. But it's probably about 1.5 kilometers thereabouts, maybe 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
So to the top. So you can get out there and you can do that on FreeSky. So
I feel like just the security that the link of Crossfire provides is enough for me to be like, hell yeah. Like I just, dude, I've thought about building quads with FreeSky, and I just remember like the horrors of failsafe and like just being panicked, like, oh, am I too far? Am I too far?
Yeah.
Now, like, even when I'm just going out for a little rip, like on that torrent that I was talking about
Yep.
earlier, it's like I constantly have this anxiety of like, oh man, am I going to fail safe? Am I going to fail safe? I have yet to have a single problem with Crossfire, and I've been out, man. Like I've done some stuff. I've been out far enough that that I lost a quad. You know, I lost my beloved 262 for multi-copter builders, but never had a problem with the Link whatsoever. Yeah. It's amazing. So I can't really see myself looking back from the from the Crossfire now that I'm there.
Nor can I really. Basically, all my builds now just I go direct to Crossfire because you know it does work. The FrSky is I can say that I've never had a failsafe on FrSky, so maybe that's just luck. Maybe that's because I'm flying where there's no interference, and 2.4 gigahertz will get you far longer than you need. But Crossfire for me, no, it just works. So
I think a lot of my troubles too came from the fact that like when I was new and flying FrSky, because I've been on Crossfire for a couple years.
Yeah.
Since it came out. But when I was new to FrSky, like I would have, instead of having my antenna pointed kind of up and because it broadcasts that way, I would like lay it over or like straight out in front, so the donut hole was like facing straight out. I just didn't understand that. Like I would see like somebody with it like one way, somebody with it the other way, and I'd be like, it doesn't really matter, you know. But now that obviously I understand a little bit better about how RF works, you know, I probably wouldn't have as many problems, especially with how I fly. And dude, the telemetry and all of your statuses and everything have come such a long way too.
Absolutely.
Just having your link quality right there in the goggles and the feed, it's just.
Yeah. Do you use like the TBS electronics on your system, or?
I do have some. Like I'm building right now. I have this little guy right here that I'm going to be building up soon. The G2, but that's got the FP Vision system on there. I've used the power cubes. The only thing I dislike about the power cube is the Colibri. I'm not such a big fan of the of that FC. But everything else, the way that the Crossfire integrates right into it, the way that the camera integrates right into it, like everything is right there. It has really, really good integratability. And you can still, like, you don't have to use the Colibri FC. You can switch out that FC and just solder some pigtails to power it. So, yeah, I mean, TBS's stuff, if I had more money, I would probably fly their stuff exclusively. But I like flying new stuff, and I don't have that much money. So
I like the Vision. I think the FP Vision is probably one of my favorite products from TBS, apart from the Crossfire. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
I'm really impressed on how far you can get out with that and how stable it is. You know, the OSD, I've never had a problem with the OSD. It just works.
It's fantastic for sure.
Yeah. The Colibri, I have the same reservations as you do. I'm not a really big beta flight fan, but with the Brain FPV thing, the Red X, I'm looking forward to giving it another go and maybe getting it tuned a little bit better.
So what are you normally flying with? What firmware?
I'm pretty much KISS FC completely.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty much all of my builds are KISS FC. Even the G2 that I've got back there, that's a KISS CC. So
okay. Dude, I had no idea. See, most people, I think I've kind of thought that like Beta Flight and now even Race Flight with their new OSD stuff was kind of synonymous with the long range game. But
yeah, no, I do. No, I've been flying KISS for 2 years now. Somewhere in there since about the time it came out, and I've gone back to Beta Flight for a little bit, and it never really gelled, never really got it as comfortable as I was with the KISS FC. So I just stayed with KISS.
You kind of need like a programming degree to wrap your or like a long time on the forums to get the hang of Beta Flight in comparison to like KISS or a Race Flight.
Yeah, I just wanted something that worked. You know, I just plug it in. do a little basic tuning, and it basically works. These recently I've been having problems with the tune on my quads, and been getting a lot of vibrations. So that's got me thinking, yeah, do I want to go with something else? Do I want to try something else to see, how well it works?
So have you tried the new F7 chip KISS yet?
No, I haven't. I'm poor at the moment. I'll
Yeah.
put it that way. That's on my list of things to buy.
We were just talking about how expensive TVS stuff is.
Yeah,
yeah. Shoot, man, $70.
$70 for the F7, and then for the KISS 32s, those are what, $26, $27 each.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No, but I really want to try it because it looks nice.
Yeah, absolutely. There's
at this moment, no, I don't have the cash.
I've thought about going back to KISS, and I do a lot of race flight. I do a lot of beta flight. I try and keep up with those releases. Dude, when KISS came out, I loved it. I'd be interested to give it a reboot. Try it out. I'm sure that I have an old KISS FC around here somewhere, and maybe some KISS ESCs. But man, when that whole system together is still probably one of the smoothest sounding setups I've heard.
Yeah, it's strange. I've mentioned this in previous long range corners, but the early firmwares were really awesome. I mean, really smooth. I loved them. I could throw them on just about any quad and it would fly smooth. Mm-hmm. The latest firmwares aren't like that. There's a lot of vibrations, a lot of issues with, basically just issues with vibrations that I wasn't having before.
Right.
So something in the software has changed between, the early days and the later days, because the hardware is basically the same.
Now, are they doing like dynamic filtering and all that stuff?
Yeah, they're doing dynamic filtering now. They're doing, they've got the notch filters in there, all that. So it's basically comparable to what Betaflight has. Not too sure about the filters, what filtering they're using underneath as compared to Betaflight. Betaflight is a little bit more open in terms of, what they're doing with the filters. But
there's a big group of people out there that feel like we're kind of overcomplicating this stuff. Like, you look at another good example, Rich Shelton. 2.5, 3 years ago, this dude's flying around on 8-inch quads, and he's got great footage.
Yeah.
Now we have I had an 8-inch, the 8-inch Anunnaki, and I was able to get some decent footage out of it, but for the most part, man, it was just such a pain in the ass to try and get good footage out of it.
Exactly. That's the issue. I mean, some of it is the whole, back in those days, you were thinking 8-inch quad, you're probably thinking like a QAV 400 or something like that.
Right.
And that has the built-in vibration dampening.
Right. A clean plate and a dirty plate.
So I just built out, you can see right behind me, this QAV 540 with a KISS and KISS ESCs. And I said, is it going to fly decently? Am I going to get good footage out of it? Even it's got that clean plate, dirty.
Okay.
No.
No. It's just nasty.
It's just nasty. There's a lot of vibrations. Maybe I'm too used to the 5-inch quads now, but it just feels like not as smooth as what you had back in the open pilot days. So
yeah, and it's kind of it's funny to say that. It's like, is it really progress at that point?
Yeah,
I think they're a highly specialized componentry, and they're mostly tuned in for 5 and 6-inch quads and stuff.
I think so too.
It's gonna be, I think it'll be a while before we come really back around full circle on the 8-inch stuff. I mean, I think guys are trying it, but I just think it's hit and miss with whether you're going to get good footage or not. Not only that, but you have props coming out for, like, we just finally got a decent 7-inch prop.
Yeah, the HQs.
Right. And that's actually the reason I want to build up this G2 is to see, how good a footage I can actually get out of those 7-inch props, because I have a bunch of the props. I've been slacking.
Yeah, that happens. I understand that.
On building this. The innovation is very centric to the 5 and 6-inch market, I think, and even the 6-inch is pretty recent as well. So
yeah, I think basically there was a time where you getting the mid throttle vibrations. So everybody was complaining about mid throttle vibrations on the KISS, and just after that they started moving. It started moving away from the more general setups to more specialized setups. So that's my take on it, anyway.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about while we were on here, we had a very viral topic on the Long Range Hooligan.
Yeah, actually, that kind of cues into my next topic as well.
Go ahead.
So one of the things that I've been noticing recently in FPV, and that's kind of got me a little bit put off, is that the community is very very divided, very, something happens and they just jump on it. So the drama kind of feeds into more drama. And what the hell's up with that?
Dude, I just think it's the popularity. I mean, I wouldn't even try and take a guess as to what you have, but I mean, I think a big portion of it is, kind of feeding off of our last topic, is this shit used to be fucking hard, Matt. Like, it used to be hard to set up a quad, to find information on what's going on. We didn't have a Facebook group where you're going to get 28 replies to your question in 13 seconds. You used to have to go post on FPV
Lab or RC groups.
Someone out there decided to be gracious enough to answer your thing. So the hobby is definitely more accessible now, which is bringing in a lot more different personalities. I mean, it seems like back in the day we had guys that just were curious and like to fly toys, and and just push the limits of their equipment and stuff. And now you just have any Joe Blow off the street that can go and buy a Vortex or whatever, which is great for the hobby. But you have guys that don't really respect the innovation and respect the knowledge and respect the guys that have spent thousands of dollars and still suck at flying just to get you here.
Yeah, there's that. But I mean, even still, it's it's the big names in the hobby too that are being affected by this. So you see that animosity between Steel and the Rotor Riot guys, and Trappy and the Rotor Riot guys. So it is frustrating for me, because I mean, I respect these guys. They've been out there, they've been doing it. Then to see their relationship just break down in a completely public fashion.
That's another kind of shitty thing about the Facebook kind of getting involved with it, is that, I mean, even at the start of the Facebook thing, Mini Quad Club, Mini Quad Club used to be a place where you could go and ask a question and have your question answered, and that was sort of the spring of the hobby, where everybody was learning kind of at the same pace, But now the drama on the Facebook groups, dude, the drama.
Yeah. I have to say that just for the first time last week, I actually had to moderate somebody, just because you in the long range corner, and I've never done that before. I've never had to do that before.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Thankfully, I feel like Long Range Hooligans, even with the kind of the blow up that we had last week over the wing issue, I feel like I feel like it's still a good place to get knowledge. Like people are still posting questions, getting their questions answered. I've been a lazy ass, man. I wanted to put it together a repository of information for like the frequently asked questions, like what motor do I use? Should
Yeah.
I go low
Yep.
kV or high kV? Like I wanted to put together a repository of that information. I just have been too lazy to. But so far, everybody has been really cool answering the questions. It seems like it's we have our fair share of the drama, but I mean it's still people asking and answering questions for the most part, which is cool. It's kind of a return to a form of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, I think as the group grows, I think it's going to get the drama will start to creep in. That's what I fear. But even still, 2,500 members that we've got. I think last count was 2,525, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they're still pretty cordial. Every once in a while, you get somebody that has a bad day and they just jump. But they're pretty much cordial. They're they like you said, they do answer the questions, and they post good stuff. They post good content. So
yeah, well, and I mean, for me, that's a content I love to see, and I'm super pumped that we're allowing the wing footage now. Man, that video that Sean Krantz posted in there the other night of that wing footage with no waggle whatsoever, I was like, hey, that's the kind of shit that gets me excited about FPV, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look, you can get good footage out of wings. You can get good footage out of wings. You have to stabilize it, though, typically.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a lot more weather dependent. I mean, you can pull a 5-inch out and up to 15 and still get pretty decent footage. I mean, the thing's gonna get blown to hell, but yeah, I actually I'm not gonna lie to you, Matt. I've been eyeing me one of those ready-made RC recruits. Actually, I watched let me pull this guy's name up here because this guy's got content, dude, and I've really been watching the heck out of his stuff. He's like an S800 guy, but he has so many tutorials. It was there it is, Giz FPV, GIZ, and I hope I'm saying that right, and it's not Jizz FPV. A little obnoxious,
probably, but
yeah, Giz FPV. If you guys are looking into getting into any sort of wing action, this guy has a ton of tutorials on iNav. He has a ton of tutorials on what you need to get set up with the wing. Dennis is saying he missed all the wing drama. Man, consider yourself blessed, Dennis, because geez Louise, man. Cheese and rice.
Shane's here. Hey Shane, how you doing? Shane's been flying wing, Humboldt 710.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's been flying wings.
So anyway, check out Giz FPV, guys. He is that guy's a wealth of knowledge if you're thinking about getting into a wing, which I am right now.
Yeah. I've got you can see my wings up here. You can see the front of the mini drac up there.
Yeah. Where? I don't see it.
Right up in the corner, there's a little mini drac.
Oh, I've got my screen kind of minimized here so I can watch YouTube comments as well. So you do wings as well?
I do wings. I've built 3 and flown 1 once. So no, I haven't done wings yet, but it's coming.
So you're working on it.
Okay,
well, that's have you checked out the iNav stuff, man?
Yeah, I actually have there's a Wing Z84 right up in there that has NAS 32 with iNav on it. So
nice. Yeah, I've got to say, man, after watching that iNav stuff, like especially the auto launch feature.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking. Yeah, auto launch. I like that. I'll have
consider that barrier to entry way lower. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, that's exactly why I thought, I'm going to put iNav on that. Of course, then you got the experienced guy saying, don't use auto launch. You'll never learn how to launch. So
I don't have to if I have auto launch.
Except when it goes wrong.
That's the worst part of the video. Nobody even watches that part. They just fast forward to the part where you're in the clouds, man. Forget about it. I'm auto launching. I got no shame in that game, bro.
The real problem is it's kind of like the Phantom, the Phantom syndrome. You got the guys out there flying the Phantom, and it's all great as long as the GPS is working. But once the GPS isn't working, then they just go all to hell. And
hey, I already took the hard learning curve with the mini quads, man. I'm gonna give myself the easy route to flying wings, man. I just want to go hang out in the clouds and chill, man, cruise.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna post the footage anyways. It's unless you have like a perfect day, the footage is gonna be garbage. But I think wings are especially fun for the pilot. I think that piloting a wing and just being able to go where you want and relax. I mean, and it's like the Phantom for me. Like when I fly my Phantom, it's relaxing, it's cruising, it's scenic. Yeah. It's not for showing you going 80 miles an hour 2 inches off the ground. It's just for chilling, and so
getting that B-roll. That's what I use my Mavic for, really.
Yeah. Hey, your guy got some W roll with your Mavic. It looked like that's water roll.
I was a little bit distressed by that when I saw that. It's funny because you can't really see it in the footage that I posted on Facebook nor Instagram, but on the full HD, he's coming around the corner and you can just see me in the kayak off in the distance. And I was kayaking there and I saw this splash and I said, I wonder if my buddy just put his drone in the water. I hope not. Little did I know.
Your buddy put your drone in the water.
Yeah, that was my Mavic that he almost put in the water.
So there was no issues with it after the water.
Nope, nothing. Basically, I think what he thinks what happened and what I think happened is basically he's flying along like this, and one of the props or something like that, maybe the landing gear hits the water, sprays up into the camera, and just knocks it. And then they just lift it up. So
that was, that's lucky, man. That would have been a bit of money down the tubes.
Extremely lucky. I think if he had actually sunk the quad, I probably would have killed him.
probably would have been a little bit of a little bit.
Maybe left him in the mountains, let him wash down.
I'll teach you, buddy. Cool.
Anyway.
What else you got on the old topics list there, sir?
Basically that was it. That was the two big things, just the whining that goes on in FPV and the winning, and then just chatting with you, seeing what's up with you.
The whining and the winning. I like that, man. I honestly, man, it's worth it. I mean, I love being a part of the community still. 100%. Yep. I love being a part of the community. There's a couple bad apples. I finally got into it with Philip Brown on Trappy's. Over there on Facebook. I told him if I want to bet, he has to delete his Facebook forever, and he got all pissed off and blocked me. But
I'm not going to say anything about Philip.
There's dudes like you, and the rest of the guys over in the Long Range Hooligans group that are super helpful, chill guys. I knew when you first joined the room, I went and checked out your YouTube, and I was like, man, that's the dude right there. That guy's cool. So
I try to keep a low profile. I mean, I do what I like to do, and yeah. This long range corner thing is stepping out a little bit out of my comfort zone. But hey, if you don't step out, then you never learn.
No, I think the long range corner is cool, man. And I mean, shit, you got 12 dudes tuned in right now, so it looks like it's growing a little bit, man. That's awesome.
I think when it was on Chili Villa, it was getting about 20 users, 20 views. So it's gone down since it's moved to its own channel, but hopefully that in the future it will start picking back up again. That's my hope.
Yeah, I think so, man. And I think that with the interest in long range, it's always it's a new thing. Are you on Random's live stream room?
Actually, I don't think I am. I'm gonna have to get in there and put that in there at some point. Yeah. The problem is I don't want to take viewers away from him, and I typically broadcast around the same time he does. So
Well, you guys, that's where you go to schedule it, man.
Yeah, yep.
You,
Yeah, you
you
got to
might
do
have
that.
to you might have to get on there an hour early or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm pumped. I got like all my stuff is packed right now. This TBS is like the only thing I have out right now because I'm gonna be going out to the desert for a week-long camp trip. So
Yeah, that's right. You said that. So you're going to be doing some good flying.
yeah, I'm hoping so, man. Depending on the wind, it's dude, I checked the weather report, the 7-day forecast, 28 mile an hour sustained and
Uh,
rain
uh,
almost the entire time. So it may turn into more like an off-roading trip
yep, yep.
than a on-road trip. But
And
Dennis,
this
I'm heading out to California City.
and that's a desert as well. So
Yeah, I mean, it's the
better.
Mojave is unforgiving, dude. So
So tell me, what's your favorite frame to fly at the moment? What's your
the
setup
one
like?
the one that is still up on the mountain is my favorite.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay. So I'll tell you the story. So I was out with Brandon and we were there was these big like rock formations that I'd been scoping out on Google Earth. And we got up there and it's probably like 15, 20 mile an hour wind.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I don't want to fly, but I'm like, but I'd like to see what I can hit in this area. So I'm like, I'll just fly a practice pack. So I put the pack on there and I get ready to send it and everything's going well. And I get up to the top of where I'm supposed to be going and I turn around and it's just this blanket of like gray green because the sun hadn't crested the hill yet.
Oh no.
So I'm just like I'm going and trying to see where I'm at.
Oh shit. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. I know that
Yeah.
feeling.
It's the worst feeling. So I'm showing like 900 milliamp hours burned and I think I see myself. So I'm like Brandon, I'm gonna punch out, listen to where the punch out came from. So I punch out and it was showing 9 volts. The
Oh shit.
battery dropped a cell.
Oh shit. Oh,
So not only it went from like a bad to worse situation,
yep,
battery
yep,
dropped a cell and I had no power. Video started going.
yep.
And of course, Matt, let this be a lesson to your viewership out there. I didn't have my DVR going because I was just practicing.
Oh, been there, done that.
Yep.
That
So
t-shirt.
yeah, so I learned that lesson the hard way. But my 262 is up on the mountain. So right now I'm flying the Kinetic Aerial Vector 6 inch.
Okay. Okay.
And I like the quad, man. It's a good quad. The only thing that I don't like about a low deck quad like that is you have everything smashed together. And the one thing that I've noticed when you have everything smashed together is there's a lot more vibration that's able to get into your flight controller, whether it be
Yeah.
from motor
Okay.
wires or video wires or whatever. And so on like a little bit higher deck quad, you can spread that out a little bit more and it's not as susceptible, but on those low deck quads, it's susceptible. So that the last video that I posted on my YouTube was shot with that quad and it's pretty decent flight footage, but there's a little bit of vibration here and there. Of course, I was flying over a train too. Have you ever flown over a train?
No, I have not. No, I have
Okay,
not.
it is incredible how much wind those things push when they're moving. Because I'm flying above this train and my quad is just like just struggling to stay in one position. So, but yeah, other than that, it's flying pretty good. I'll be back on a 262 as soon as my financial situation permits.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to build some of this crap I have on the bench first before I get back into that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, definitely DVR is a lifesaver. I've been there. One of my first I'd say lost quads, but I actually recovered it purely by luck. But I was out doing some long range flying, probably the first time really I was getting out there, and unfamiliar area. I turned around at the top of a mountain and looked back, and it all looks the same. So just this logging area. A fire had been through, so there's no good um,
Like discernible landmarks.
there's no landmarks. There's roads, but there's roads everywhere.
Yeah.
There's just these little paths everywhere. I'm like, where the hell did I come from?
Yeah. It's
Strangely enough, my first instinct was right. I actually started heading down the mountain, and I was really close to where I was. I was kind of headed in the right direction, but then I second guessed myself and left the quad there for. Well, I recovered the quad 2 months later because I was driving around in that area, and it's like a logging area, and there's a cabin right at the start. So I was driving in there, and a guy kind of waves me down and says, What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm looking for a drone." "Oh, I found a drone." I know who has your drone." Like, really? No way.
I you know I really we looked for probably 3 or 4 hours for that quad, couldn't find it. But I think that the GoPro sale that everybody just got to take advantage of, I think that was the universe's way of telling me that it's going to be okay. You got it. Here's another GoPro for your trouble.
Excellent. So you got a $75 GoPro. That's awesome.
Yeah, I did. Well, I paid a little bit more because I got the warranty. Actually, okay. Target has a warranty just like Best Buy. So
really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. But yeah, hopefully I bring back some good footage from this trip.
I hope so too. Can't wait to see it.
And hopefully it's watchable.
You post it up even if it's not.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. I took a trip up to the Atacama, 12-hour road trip, and I only had one flight with usable footage, maybe 2 flights with usable footage.
Is that the one with the lake that you just posted not too long ago?
No, that's it's an earlier one. I think I did that back in September. But basically, I had gotten 2 new GoPro sessions in, and stabilization was turned on.
Oh no!
So I got back and I looked at the footage like, oh my.
Yeah, that's.
I just drove like 24 hours straight. We were at 4,000 meters, so I spent the night in a shelter. I had altitude sickness. It was
all that for GoPro stabilization videos.
all of that for really crap video. I was like, oh,
yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, stabilization didn't even touch it. I tried real steady. I tried the warp stabilizer, and there's no recovering it. So I just posted it as is and said, "Yeah, sorry guys."
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Hey, speaking of GoPros, man, what's your thoughts on the 6?
It's nice, but big.
Yeah,
this is my problem with it. I like the footage that I'm seeing out of it. I like the idea of having, being able to do slow motion, but the fact that it's so big, it's like going back to the good old Hero 3s,
yeah,
even bigger.
Yeah, to me, it also is. I mean, it's $200 versus $400 should that thing get lost on the mountain somewhere, and that, it's so hard. That's a tough pill to swallow, man. I mean, the 120 frames looks great. My buddy Martin, who's hosting Spun in my place right now, he's flying the Hero 6, and his footage is just out of this world good, man. The 120 frames a second with the 1080 resolution, it just looks fantastic. But
yeah, some of the stuff that I've been seeing from Bryce is nice as well. I really like that.
Dude, Bryce's stuff, man. How about that loss on the mountain in the snow?
It's amazing that he recovered that. I'm stoked that he recovered that, and man, it was the start of a nice run.
Well, he probably had his DVR on.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah. So, but yeah, hats off to him, man. That's checking all the boxes. And one of the coolest things about long range is we get to learn everything all over again. You know, there's tips and tricks, just like with any other discipline. You know, I'm sure I could go to a racer and he could give me a million tips about how to win a race, and I could, you know, give him all my hard lessons learned on flying long range.
Oh yes, definitely. And the worst thing for me is I tend to learn those lessons at least twice, maybe three
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Yeah, I am in the same boat, my friend. Hey, oh man, I packed it. Damn. I wanted to bring out and talk about the Pepper Box Extreme that I've been playing with.
Yeah, I've heard that. My problem is I just picked up a pepper box recently, so buying another one.
A Pepper Box not extreme.
Yeah, a non-extreme pepper box.
Well, he's on his you know how Alex is, man. He won't release it until it's absolutely perfect. And he, you know, he's still working on all the little kinks and stuff. But even on this one, he said the one he sent me was a very early rev, but I've taken all my other antennas off and just flown that Pepper Box Extreme, and the beam width is huge, like just ridiculous. The gain is very nice. I sent him a little feedback on it. There seems to be just like a little bit of a dead spot, like right in the middle of the beam. But you know, like I said, it's an extremely early prototype he sent me, and for all intents and purposes, I like it better than the other Pepper Box that I've had. Really? So, and I mean, it even offers coverage behind you. I don't know if you've seen the little the chart with the phallic objects. I don't know what they call it. But
sensitivity, I think.
Yeah, it's it actually has a little bit of reception behind it. So I've been testing that out as well, and so far I'm really liking what I'm seeing, man. It looks like a great little addition. I don't know if you caught this the other day, but Hugo from True RC posted something, and it was like a dipole antenna with a radiant element on the top of it. And Alex kind of mentioned that that was some copyright infringement, and that he had copied that design. And normally those guys work together.
Yeah. So, well, I'm not sure. I thought they worked together. I was under the assumption that they worked together, but I think there is kind of they respect each other, but they still compete.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's business, you know. Yeah. It was like the first time, because normally like one of them starts talking about antennas, the other will come out and be like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, this is why that works, and they just talk about stuff that's way over anybody's head. But you know, we're like, hell, it works great, but thanks for coming up with it, you guys, because we couldn't. But yeah, it was like Alex seemed very perturbed at the subject, and so I was like, what's going on here, fellas? But I think those guys, it's funny because it's like every time you think, damn, well, how much better can 5.8 get? How much better can we really get on 5.8? Those guys are like, actually, this much better.
Yeah,
drop something. So,
did you see that Hugo just put out? He just released his new line for the X series. So
did he release it? I saw that he said that there's some new improvements, like it's that the wire array on the back is no longer there, that kind of stuff. Is that released now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at least it's on his page, his webpage. He just dropped a link in the Long Range Hooligans group. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I support both of those guys. They're both doing great stuff. I have a True RC crosshair on my ground station. I have a video aerial system crosshair, Pepper Box. So I try and support both of those guys, because they're both, what they're doing is for us. Everything they're doing is
definitely for us. I respect both of them a lot. The Singularity. I love the Singularity, the 2.4 gigahertz Singularity.
So you're on 2.4 for most of your range rigs, right?
I'd say yes, but no, not really. The one I fly most is the G2 and the Alien, and those are both 5.8 rigs.
So okay, so I'm looking at an Alien that looks like it has 7 or 8 inch props, like top right above your left shoulder.
Yeah, that's actually got 9-inch props on it.
Okay, so is that a custom cut deal, or what is that?
That's
Tell me about it.
something a little special that one of the guys from Impulse sent me to test
Okay,
out.
no kidding.
I haven't flown it as much as I should. The motors I've got on there are the 900, 920 kV T motors, and I feel like they're a little bit too low for the props I've got on it.
Okay, what
So
are you running the Gropner props? They look like the Gropners.
those are actually T motor props. Those are
Oh, no kidding.
T motor carbon fiber. The problem with those, they're really smooth, but they're only 2.4 pitch, so it's gutless. I mean, more gutless than usual.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I have when I was flying that 8 inch quad, the Anunnaki frame, I went with something like 1100 kV motors on 4S to start out with,
Yeah.
and just like you said, man, it did not have any balls whatsoever. I ended up going with an 1800 kV motor to have the sort of guts I wanted out of it. But those big
Yeah.
props are fun, man.
Yeah, they are. I was actually thinking either I've got some 9x6 tri blades, 9x5 tri blades. I'm not sure which for a master air screw that I wanted to try out on those, but I have they're the T motor, of course, are the T style adapters, the T style mount, and
Okay.
the master air screw are the shaft mount, and I've lost the shaft adapters for the motors. So yeah.
Whoops.
I'm not sure. They're in here somewhere. Where, I have no idea.
Yeah, you look like you got a hell of a hobby room there, man.
Yeah, this is mainly shared by myself and my wife. My wife's got a little bit of yarn back out there, but it's mostly mine.
I was wondering what those piles of cloth were.
Yeah, that's yarn. She's a knitter.
I went to my wife's craft room, which has become our shared crap room.
Yeah,
like it's just a catch-all. It's like the stuff that we're gonna sell at our yard sale that we're never gonna have. And I went in there today, dude, and she's got like this bench top that's like 12 feet long and like places for tools. I was like, I should just freaking take all this stuff to make this my quad room, man, because it's badass, dude. It's drywalled and everything. It's got electricity out there. I'm like, dang, I need this in my life.
Yeah, damn straight. I mean, this doubles as my workspace. So this is my office, my home office. I've got my computer set up here, my desktop, video editing station, quad station, basically.
So you work at a university down there, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Is that the reason that you travel to Chile, is for the university? Or like, how did you find yourself in Chile of all places?
My wife is Chilean. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So I was doing my doctorate over in England 13 years ago now.
Okay.
I actually went there in 2001 to start my doctorate.
What are you a doctor of?
Computer science and artificial intelligence.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool.
So yeah, I did my doctorate over there, and I met her probably the second or third day I was there. And we started dating probably about 3 years afterwards.
Okay.
Initially, I was interested in her roommate, and
does she know that?
Yeah, she does. She does.
Okay.
She knows the story. So yeah, then I started dating her probably about 3 years afterwards, and got married. And she had a grant that said that she had to come back to Chile for 6 years, and therefore here I am.
You said year 4?
What?
Did you say year 4, like 406?
No, we're past that now.
Okay.
Yeah, we got here. I arrived here in 2005. So
okay. So What is everybody's laughing about the roommate story there, Matt?
Yeah.
What's it like to get quad parts there? I know that like when we talked to Spook when he was on Spun, he said getting quad parts in Brazil is not happening.
It's getting better. There are some local stores that are actually carrying the stuff. I have to give a shout out to Pablo Fernandez. He has a store, Heli Films. There's a couple other stores that have popped up. But mainly I pretty much order from outside. For long range stuff, nobody carries it. There's 5-inch, yeah, people will carry it, but for long range, no, I've got to order from outside. And it takes about, depending on where you order from and how much you want to pay, anywhere from a week to 2 months to get stuff.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's not bad. Yeah,
No.
Spook says his stuff gets held up in customs for like a month over there. So
Yeah, I've had stuff held up in customs for 2 to 3 months here. It's not pleasant, but thankfully TBS ships DHL and somehow manages to make it through customs without having to pay. So
no hitches.
No hitches. No, that's one of the great things. I don't know how Trappy has done it. I don't know who he's had to bribe, but it's magic.
I think Trappy's got one hell of a baseball bat.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the only other company that has managed to do that is Amazon.
Yeah.
So, you buy stuff from Amazon. Typically, you buy stuff from DHL and they'll tack on basically double what you paid.
Really?
Really. I mean, the EVA, the value added tax is about 20%. And then there's some other extraneous fees. And then they add on an airport fee. So
somebody's got to keep those runways going, right?
Exactly. That airport fee, I think, is just basically a bribe to the customs of Chile to actually get things through quicker. Yeah. That's my impression. But so yeah, it's double the price. And Amazon, of course, basically collects all that before they send. So they take an import deposit. Now, they're not supposed to charge you anymore once they get here. But I've had times where DHL has said, no, you have to pay more.
So, you didn't pay your airport fee yet, sir.
Yeah, exactly. So I write to Amazon and say, hey, they're trying to charge me more. They say, don't collect it. Don't worry. We'll take care of it.
Amazon pulls out their baseball bat then.
Exactly. Amazon has a baseball bat. Amazon says, yeah, you do this. And DHL says, yes, okay. But so I don't know how Trappy does it. I'd like to know that.
A lot of guys, that's what their big focus is. I know, like even Quadbox just went through a different shipper. I know that USPS wasn't able to handle their orders, and so they went with UPS. And then Serge is the man, the myth, the legend. He's always changing his shipping arrangements for international stuff. So
yeah. It's hard. It's really hard to get stuff here quickly and cheaply.
How is it for batteries? Because it has to come in airmail, right?
Yeah, batteries have been previously. There were a couple places that actually sent. Hobby King used to send from their European warehouse. Who else? Prior to the regulations, I used to get FPV batteries a lot, the Luminaire batteries. Now it's bad. Yeah, you have to get from somebody that has brought it in from outside, like a local dealer.
Oh, okay. So you can't get your batteries airmailed in at all.
No, I over Christmas I got some from CNHL.
Okay.
And they shipped them via UPS, or not UPS, USPS, U.S. Postal Service. I don't know how they got them through.
They probably didn't declare them.
Exactly, I'm sure. But somebody here just put on a local Facebook group saying that they tried to get their batteries sent through and they were stopped at the post office. They
No
said
kidding.
they refused to ship them. So I think it's going to become more of a problem.
Did you take advantage of that huge freaking sale that CNHL just had?
No, that was before I bought mine, probably around Christmas time. So
Oh man,
I,
yeah.
I, I still think I got a decent deal. I think I ordered 1300 milliamp hour batteries and I got 6. So
Well, that's not bad.
yeah, so I'm chuffed by that, and they're cheap. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Hey, we've been. I was kind of thinking about this when I mentioned, guys like Surge and stuff who are really, really fighting for the post office, and stores like that have a little bit of clout. Did you hear Multi Rotor Mania is going out of business?
yes, I did. I did see that. That's disappointing. That's really
It really,
disappointing.
it really is, man. I've seen a lot of guys running that scythe frame, um,
Yeah,
but dude, it's just I think the kind of the golden age where everybody could get involved and everybody who was anybody could open up a store. The big guys have kind of been established at this point. So
yeah,
the local guys, not only that, but you got the Bang Goods and stuff to compete with, and the Amazons now to compete with, and it's just too bad because the guys like Banggood aren't going to help you support your product. You're not going to get any tech support from them. So it sucks to see guys who've been in it for a long time. I mean, Multi Rotor Mania had a booth at the first Drone Nationals.
yeah,
So
yeah,
sucks to see little guys like that going out of business,
yeah,
man.
definitely. Yeah, I think the whole hobby industry is going to get shaken up here. I can't predict what's going to happen. I mean, I hope TBS stays in business. They seem to be doing good. The the small shops. The problem with the small shops is, yeah, they have to charge extra, and
Yeah.
when you can get cheap, I understand that. I don't support Being Good. I don't buy from Being Good. AliExpress, I don't use them either.
I'm not even a
Amazon,
huge fan of ordering from Hobby King at this
yeah.
point.
I Hobby King, I'll buy batteries. Um, I'll buy uh, basic supplies. So, your shrink wrap, things like that are just basically bulk stuff, I'll get from them.
So what you're saying, Matt, is that you're not opposed to buying clone shrink wrap?
Yeah, exactly. But is it clone? I mean, it says Carnegie on it.
This guy supports clones.
I mean, they do sell Kiss, so most of my Kiss gear I've gotten from Hobby King. I
Well,
will
and
say
I'm
that.
sure I'm sure for you too. Like having somewhere with an international warehouse for somebody who is international, such as yourself, is probably a lot easier to get stuff from.
Exactly, exactly. And yeah, basically that's all I buy from Hobby King these days. It's just the basic stuff, tools maybe. So I think my driver set is Carnegie as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So the basic generic cheap shit that anybody can do.
I buy all that stuff from Amazon because it shows up in 2 days now.
Yeah, well, bastard.
I think you got to convince your wife and or her roommate to come back to the States.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're here in Chile for the long run. And hey, man, if I move to the States, I'm not going to have the mountains.
Well, why don't you talk to Mike Virgin about that?
Well, yeah. See, the problem with the States is you either have mountains or you have sea or you have plains, right?
Yeah.
Chile, you get all of that in like probably 300 miles.
Yeah. No, I mean everything I've seen from Chile's beautiful, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Patagonia is definitely on my bucket list for sure. So I'm a little bit envious. I mean, I don't envy, your inability to get things for, you know, uh more expensive and a little bit slower. But I think that that's probably not a horrible trade-off, judging by what I've seen.
No, it has its advantages and disadvantages. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And I can't say I'm going to be honest. I don't think I'm the best pilot in the world. I think I'm pretty average pilot, mediocre pilot. So my popularity is the locations I fly.
Yeah.
But
Well, and I hate to wax Richard Shelton again, but I mean a lot of the flying gets you kind of you get poured out on the flying, man. Like you can only see the same things happening so many times before
yeah,
you're like, the same tree in the same park so many times before you're like, man, go somewhere pretty. Like I love Johnny's flying on just a holistic level. Like I think Johnny FPV is a fantastic pilot, but when he did that long range streams in Austria video, dude,
yeah, that was
there
awesome.
it's not even his most technical flying, but it's just the scenery is so beautiful that it's like, man, it's on another level for me.
Yeah, exactly. I think on the Air Views live stream, they were showing all the basically the reels from the pilots.
Mhm.
And what I was impressed with is, like, if you look like Nurk and Johnny and Gapet, some of them, they're really their reels weren't showing the technical flying that they did so much as where they were flying, the locations.
Right. I think that's a skill in and of itself, is to be able to go through any environment and make good looking film from it,
Yeah,
go to different
definitely.
places. So for sure.
Right. Well, I think we're coming up. How long have we been doing this now? I don't even know.
There's no timers anywhere.
There's no timers. Well, we started at 10 and it's now 11:20. So I'm going to say we've been doing it for about an hour and 20 minutes.
For an hour and 20 minutes. That's not bad, man. That's
Yeah.
good bullshit. This is the first time that Matt and I have talked outside of Facebook too. So
Yeah.
that's been cool, man.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see people. It's nice to get people on. So I really want to do more of this in the future.
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure, man.
I think we'll have to try to get Richard on next week, see if he wants to come on.
There you go.
Sure.
Hey, I would watch that episode.
Excellent. And he's got his fans.
Yeah. He's a character, that's for dang sure.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Richard heard me whining about missing my 262, and he messaged me while we were doing this, and he's like, "Yo, man, I know you miss your quad. Come to daddy. Come to daddy." So I'll be getting back to you shortly, Richard. Thank you very much.
That's customer service right there.
That's my man right there. That's my dude. So anyways, man, yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me on, Matt.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And
hopefully we can do it again. Maybe next time you come on my show, huh?
yeah, sounds good. I can do that.
Also, let's see here. Let's give some shout outs. Richard, Views from Above. I don't know who that is. Humboldt 710. That's your boy.
Yeah, that's Shane Trevick.
Shane, yeah. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis, your commentary, your rolling commentary has been entertaining to read.
I haven't even checked out the commentary.
I know, dude. We've been so neglectful of all your fans. What a couple of jerks.
Yeah. We love you guys in the comments.
Absolutely. All right, Matt. Well, it's been fun, dude. Thanks again for having me on, brother.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, man.
All right.
And maybe if you want to do one of these yourself, let me know.
By myself?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
I
have to have somebody else to equalize me, to fill in the blank space.
Well, we can figure that out.
Right on. All right, brother.
Yeah. See you, man.
Be good.
Yeah. You too. Bye.